From a crypto influencer who tried to sue his way out of a scam.
I just got some stuff for you.
Oh, what is it?
I don't know. It's just a box.
I don't need it.
Well, you've been served early.
What are you doing?
Watching BitBoy Crypto is a lot like watching your drunk uncle embarrass themselves on Thanksgiving every year.
To an alpha male podcast host inventing fake dominant stories to sell masculinity.
But today we're going to talk about my W in terms of having 3 women in one day.
Let me stop you right there. I already don't believe you.
These are times Penguinz0 completely dismantled fake gurus on the internet, starting with 2 of the most delusional self-proclaimed alpha males ever to sit behind a podcast table. Fresh and Fitt is an alpha male podcast hosted by Myron Gaines and Walter Weeks. The entire premise is simple. Invite women onto the show, ask vague questions, then cut them off mid-answer to make them look stupid while presenting themselves as dating authorities.
And this other delusion that women have. You guys think that you have power and leverage. You fucking don't. The man has to get down on one knee and give you the ring, not the other way around.
They frame every exchange to position men as the prize and women as interchangeable.
I don't know your mother. You don't know me.
No, I know you. You're an idiot.
You don't know
I think we've all heard you talk.
According to them, men aren't picky. Women are replaceable. And the power dynamic is always stacked in their favor.
Because the man is the boss. And the only way women really, a woman really fucks with you is she needs to serve you.
On May 13th, 2022, Charlie came across one of these stories and immediately smelled something off, prompting him to upload a video titled, "Most Embarrassing Alpha Male Ever."
The only thing more pathetic than a guy who calls himself an alpha male is a guy who calls himself an alpha male and then tries to sell advice to desperate, lonely men.
He opens by laying out exactly why self-proclaimed alpha males selling advice to desperate men are inherently pathetic.
Anyway, this is the Fresh and Fitt podcast. The entire purpose of this show is to bring women on to insult and belittle them to their face, while also preaching that men should have the right to cheat on their significant other as many times as they want.
Walter then launches into a story about having 3 women in one day.
But today we're going to talk about my W in terms of having 3 women in one day.
But Charlie immediately says he doesn't believe a word of it, pointing out how often the hosts make absurd claims.
Let me stop you right there. I already don't believe you. It's super hard to think that anything they say is real when they constantly make stupid fucking claims like this one.
Charlie jokes that not even an infinite multiverse could produce a reality where what they claim is true.
There is no reality in the entirety of the fucking multiverse where this man has slept with one woman, let alone over 1,000 of them.
Beyond just roasting, Charlie starts breaking down the story itself and pointing out the obvious holes.
But I met this guy at a pool party. He's an NBA player. I won't say his name for some reasons, but he's a pretty top-tier guy, high-value guy, right?
Walter claims an unnamed NBA player approached him at a pool party for advice on where to party next.
And then he's like, "Yo, bro, are you on Instagram?"
And then he added me on Instagram, we became best friends, he got me a tryout with his NBA team, which I absolutely crushed and became a starter on the squad, setting NBA world records.
Charlie points out how nonsensical it is for a professional athlete with connections to seek advice from a random podcaster.
This story's already got more plot holes in it than Kingdom Hearts. Why would an NBA player go up to a random guy at a pool party to ask for a party later?
Walter then implies he's in the same league of high-value men as NBA players.
Like I always say, me and Myron, a lot of these girls share the same high-value men, and they run around in the same circles, right?
Charlie doesn't let that slide.
Do you honestly expect anyone in the world to believe that? And then to have the audacity to make the claim that women go for the same high-value males?
He calls it mind-blowing that someone running one of the most mocked podcasts online would compare themselves to elite athletes.
You, who runs one of the most laughed-at podcasts on the internet since the My Little Pony fan club radio show, you think that you are a same level of high-value male as an NBA player? Fucking mind-blowing.
Viewers were just as brutal in the comments. Fresh's story reminds me of the time when I met Tupac at my middle school pizza party, and he invited me to a strip club in Vegas. As a virgin myself, game recognizes game. The only response Fresh and Fitt gave was that they supposedly called the NBA player live, which still doesn't confirm anything.
And this is what a lot of reaction channels do, guys. This guy Penguin made a video about Fresh as well, saying that, fake alpha male, this story of him being with a bunch of girls and an NBA player isn't true, which we've already debunked that, by the way. We actually called the NBA player live on air.
They didn't clap back, didn't escalate, and didn't respond publicly, quietly letting the embarrassment speak for itself. Unfortunately, the lies didn't stop with dating advice, because next up, we have a real millionaire telling broke people they should be ashamed of their income. When it comes to bad financial advice, Charlie has only encountered a few gurus worse than Grant Cardone. Grant is actually rich. He made smart real estate investments early on, which genuinely turned him into a millionaire.
Every business, I have 5 companies now. We'll do 100 million this year. I started every one of those companies with no money. Zero money, man. Just hustle and grit and courage.
He's since used that wealth to brand himself as one of the smartest businessmen alive, something that immediately falls apart once you start listening to his financial takes.
If I made 400 grand a year, I would be embarrassed with myself as a husband, a father, basically as a human being.
According to Grant, earning $400,000 a year isn't just insufficient, it's something to be ashamed of.
400 grand. How do you make sense of $35,000 a month? You guys haven't done the math.
The real question isn't how do you live on $35,000 a month, but how do you even manage to spend that much? If you're struggling at that level, you're not poor, you're just wildly irresponsible. But that's only scratching the surface, because Grant's biggest problem isn't bad math. It's hypocrisy.
The U.S. savings rate is hitting low standards again, 2.5%. The savings rate in this country was over 6.5% for 30 years.
In one breath, he warns people about the dangers of low savings and the risk of financial collapse.
I don't waste money. The money that I save is sacred. It's there to protect me and my future. It's not there to buy junk.
Then immediately tells broke people to spend every dollar they have on themselves.
Dude, if you have an emergency, you need to go to work. You need to go hustle is what you need to do.
In 2022.
Savers stay broke, bro.
Moments later, he flexes extreme frugality in daily life while simultaneously bragging about luxury excess.
This door right here, believe it or not, cost $850,000 to put in.
He criticizes people for buying small luxuries, then casually explains how an $850,000 jet door was a reasonable expense.
Truth is, most people don't like money. I know they don't like money. You know how I know they don't like money? Do you like money? No, I don't think you do. You know why I don't think you do? Because as soon as you get some, you get rid of it. You buy shit with it.
This constant flip-flopping and total lack of self-awareness is exactly what caught Charlie's attention. Charlie opens by calling out Grant's claim that $35,000 a month isn't enough to live on.
If I made 400 grand a year, I would be embarrassed with myself as a husband, a father, basically as a human being.
Charlie calls it one of the most out-of-touch statements he's ever heard, comparing it to companies making laughably delusional claims.
So he's just going through this grifting where it's like, if you're not making 400 grand a year, you're subhuman, you're a worm, you're pathetic, you make me sick. One of you come up here so I can beat your ass for not making 400 grand actually, please.
He points out that Grant doesn't actually believe what he's saying. It's manufactured tough love, designed to humiliate desperate people and sell them something.
So the point is, he's just saying the things he thinks people want to hear from this audience in order to try and make money off of them.
At the end of the day, Grant isn't trying to help anyone. He's trying to sell his 20-plus courses, priced anywhere from $50 to nearly $1,000. But somehow, his worst advice comes when he talks to young people.
Every 15-year-old kid should be doing this right now. If you're getting an allowance of $300 a month, buy a piece of real estate that pays you $30 a month. Only use the 30, don't touch the 300.
He suggests that 15-year-olds should use their allowance to buy rental properties and live off the passive income. When asked how that's possible, he casually mentions allowances, side jobs, and hustles.
Allowance, side jobs, side hustles. I was 14 years old. I was working every weekend. I was mowing lawns, doing whatever I could to get some extra money.
But Charlie wasn't going to let that slide.
$300 a month allowance, Grant. Do you think that's normal? Do you think that that's the normal allowance that a child would get from their family?
Charlie doesn't hold back, calling it one of the dumbest takes ever put online.
That is an achievement that he was able to drivel out so much trash in only 20 seconds. There's like a million things you can point out as being just blatantly wrong here.
He starts by pointing out that a $300 monthly allowance already means you're growing up wealthy.
If you're getting $300 a month as a 15-year-old, why don't you just call over your butler Jeeves and ask him to grab a couple gold bricks out of the family safe? Then you've already succeeded as a millionaire. You don't even need Grant Cardone's advice on how to accomplish it.
If you're getting that kind of money at 15, you don't need Grant's advice. you've already won.
Let's just say somehow you had that. Grant, as a 15-year-old, how are you going to start investing in real estate with $300 a month? You're never going to get approved for a loan as a 15-year-old that is getting $300 a month as an allowance. It's not even tied to a fucking job. So good luck finding any reputable place that's going to give you a loan for real estate.
He then explains that a 15-year-old can't legally buy property, can't qualify for loans, and can't invest in real estate without a cosigner.
And Grant Cardone is a real estate multimillionaire. He knows this, but he thinks everyone that follows him is a stupid fucking bumbling Neanderthal. And he might be right, I guess, if anyone actually thinks this is legitimate advice that he spouts out of his fucking mouth.
Grant never considers any of this before giving the advice, which makes the entire thing even more reckless. What Charlie didn't realize at the time was that criticizing Grant carries a unique risk. Months earlier, Grant publicly announced he would sue anyone who questioned his expertise or damaged his brand.
It shouldn't be considered. It doesn't matter. You need a place to live.
But you could take a second mortgage and still live in the same place.
What's the point? It's a place you live.
But despite all his threats, Grant never went after Charlie.
I just got my financial statement in 3 months. The first 3 months of this year compared to last year, a double.
Possibly realizing that suing someone with millions of loyal fans would only make things worse, Grant quietly accepted the criticism and moved on. However, it only gets worse from here, as Charlie later came across a dating coach teaching men to ignore rejection. As his name suggests, Alpha Dom is another self-proclaimed alpha male who claims he's incredible with women. He's similar to the Fresh and Fitt hosts, except he takes it one step further by branding himself as a professional dating coach.
Alpha Dom top tip: when your significant other says, "You're perfect just the way you are," that doesn't mean don't improve and don't get better, because the relationship will grow stale and you will lose that person.
He even runs a full website selling a $200 plus dating course, complete with a description that looks like it was written entirely by ChatGPT. Now, helping people gain confidence in dating isn't inherently wrong, but Alpha Dom's advice goes far beyond bad. It crosses into dangerous territory.
You do not have to accept her rejection.
Telling men to ignore rejection, and by extension consent, is an immediate red flag.
You couldn't script a worse start to this lesson. You don't have to accept her rejection. Brother, that's like the #1 thing you should accept, not just with women, but with people in general.
Charlie points out how insane it is to tell someone not to accept a clear no, explaining that pushy behavior is universally disliked.
This ain't your grandma's flirting no more. This ain't Weenie Hut Jr.'s. This is forbidden jutsu. While you were out partying, he was inside, studying the techniques.
He compares Alpha Dom's logic to a car salesman refusing to end a conversation, treating romance like a game with trap cards.
The guy's out here cosplaying as a car salesman, treating romance like it's a Yu-Gi-Oh duel. No, I will not allow this to happen because I have this trap card. The conversation will continue whether you like it or not.
For anyone unfamiliar with Dom, this might look like satire.
I'm a professional dating coach and I teach guys how to understand the female mind. Now, if you're one of the people that haven't applied anything in my course or my videos or anything like that, this video is not for you. This is an advanced technique.
Unfortunately, Dom is completely serious and doubles down, insisting his advice is for advanced students only.
This is a man who has mastered the female mind, and he's sharing all of its secrets with us and telling us all the techniques to make it bend to our will.
Charlie mocks the idea that instead of accepting rejection, you should question why someone wouldn't be interested in you.
I did this. Why would you not be interested in me? I'm the best.
It's genius! The chosen one! Lisan Al-Gaib! How could we have not thought of that technique? Whoa! Instead of just accepting when a girl isn't into you, you say, wait, but you should be. No, you! He's done it! He's cracked the code!
He treats it like a prophecy-level revelation, calling Dom the chosen one for cracking the code to dating. Beyond the consent issue, Charlie also calls out how obviously fake Dom's stories are.
Of all of the things in the world that have never happened, that has never happened the most. That is the most didn't happen shit of all time.
He describes it as one of the most unbelievable stories ever told, accusing Dom of selling a fantasy to desperate men for money. Things got even worse when Dom started responding to criticism.
A lot of people have been saying, hey, once Penguinz makes a video on you, you're done. Your internet career's over. One thing. Except there's one issue with that. Oh, man.
What Dom didn't expect was that Charlie would actually take him up on it.
Dude allegedly gets more ass than a toilet seat while looking like he spends most of his days just moderating subreddits. He also claims to have 7 active girlfriends on his roster, so he basically lives the anime harem lifestyle.
On February 24th, 2024, Charlie uploaded a follow-up video after getting full access to Alpha Dom's course.
All women are bad. Conflation. Physical.
Well, you're jumping the gun, man.
And somehow, the advice was even worse than before.
Instead of talking about how pathetic you are, but she's trying to be nice about it. Girls don't do that about me. Girls, when they have conversations,
they just don't talk about him in general. So much better.
Right back. He'll bust my balls. He'll fucking pick and make fun of me. He doesn't give a fuck.
The follow-up video only cemented Dom's reputation.
So he kind of like teetered on this edge of almost understanding that women are human, but he'd get close. He'd like poke at it a little bit, tickle it, like, these female creatures, they're almost like us. They're almost, sentient beings that like to talk. And
one viewer joked that Dom's advice was so dangerously effective, he had to wear a seatbelt while giving it. If Alpha Dom had stayed quiet after the first roast, he probably would have been forgotten. Instead, he kept clapping back, turned himself into the definitive fake alpha male guru in Charlie's community, and after a few months, disappeared from social media entirely. At this point, the harm stopped being theoretical because up next, Charlie was dealing with lawsuits, intimidation, and alleged financial damage. BitBoy is one of the largest crypto channels on YouTube. The entire brand is built around Ben Armstrong presenting himself as a crypto expert, a guru who supposedly knows where the market is headed.
Wait a second, that doesn't sound right. Well, this is where we get into the complicated gray areas of decentralized finance.
But like most things in crypto, it didn't take long before that trust turned into something far uglier.
PAMP has been one of the most requested projects to review for my Telegram group and beyond. Luckily, PAMP actually reached out to me about doing a video, so thanks to PAMP for supporting this channel, and everybody gets the video they want.
Over time, Ben began using his influence to push projects that allegedly scammed his viewers out of potentially millions.
What these people normally do is hire dirtbag influencers to then shill that to their fans, so the scammers can then find suckers through them, who then buy the scam token off of the scammer.
In November of 2021, YouTuber Odyssey published a video calling out BitBoy's long list of shady promotions.
You don't want to miss PAMP. I'm pumped up to talk about this one.
Pumped up with PAMP's money to talk about this one. This is so deceptive and misleading to new investors. I'm surprised this is even allowed on YouTube to begin with.
Ben claimed there was a project guaranteed to increase in price, something Odyssey immediately flagged as impossible.
See, there's a method to my madness, and you have to just trust me when we find these coins.
I'm baffled this is a real video and it was up for as long as it was. Buy this obvious scam coin, because trust me with these coins, guys. Totally not paid to say that.
Atosi checked where that project ended up, and unsurprisingly, it collapsed. Instead of owning up to it or apologizing to his audience, Ben chose a different approach.
All right, some of you guys may know that I'm currently being sued by the largest crypto channel known as BitBoy Crypto for $75,000 or more.
In May of 2022, he filed a $75,000 defamation lawsuit against Atosi.
I just got some stuff for you.
Oh, what is it?
I don't know. It's just a box.
I don't need it.
Well, you've been served, early.
What are you doing?
For Atosi, this was terrifying. A drawn-out lawsuit could have destroyed everything he'd built over years on YouTube.
Yeah, I have officially been sued. This is horrifying. And I realize I'm sadly risking everything I've built over the last 5 years just to stand up for myself and make this video.
He explained that defending himself meant risking his entire career just to stand up for the truth. Just when it looked like Atosi would be dragged through court for years, Charlie stepped in.
This lawsuit is one that's really hitting close to home here. Atosi was not playing by standard Weenie Hut Jr. rules, clearly. He made a video talking about BitBoy's past with shady crypto and just a general history of sketchy shit, which made BitBoy upset enough to file a lawsuit against him for the video.
On August 20th, 2022, Charlie uploaded a video breaking down the lawsuit.
This whole thing was about him being, upset and riddled with anxiety worrying that Etozi's video ruined his reputation, even though BitBoy's lawsuit has done significantly more damage than Etozi could have ever done.
He immediately framed the lawsuit for what it was, a scare tactic meant to silence criticism.
You've done the equivalent of going to the mall and shitting your pants and then trying to blame someone else for those shatted-in britches. It's your fault now.
Charlie mocked the strategy, pointing out that lawsuits like this almost never work and usually backfire spectacularly.
But then you go to his YouTube channel and he's no longer this Sigma male. Now he's all shy. Oh, well, I guess I'm just making crypto content for general information purposes only. I am not an expert, so don't take my advice.
He argued that Etozi's video barely scratched BitBoy's reputation, but the lawsuit absolutely destroyed it.
And you suing him to try and keep it under wraps and squeeze 75 grand out of him has shined an even brighter light on this kind of information. I would have never known that you've done these things.
According to Charlie, filing a frivolous lawsuit online is the fastest way to publicly ruin yourself. Coverage from other creators followed.
Suddenly, the guy you're in a legal battle with has the funds to fight his case, and that makes your lawsuit worthless? Do you guys understand what he's saying there?
Charlie's video, combined with attention from creators like CoffeeZilla, massively amplified the backlash.
Yikes. So his defense, after she brings up the Zach's XBT thread, his response is, "You're a child molester, murderer."
The pressure became so intense that just 5 days later, Ben dropped the lawsuit entirely.
Money came in on his side. The lawsuit was never about money. So hopefully, Etozi, now that we're going to be officially dropping this, I emailed my lawyer about 15 minutes before we went on air here. So that is going to be happening.
While BitBoy still uploads to YouTube, his channel never recovered. But Penguinz0? He wasn't going to let it go that easily.
Watching BitBoy crypto is a lot like watching your drunk uncle embarrass themselves on Thanksgiving every year, but somehow BitBoy has an audience that must hate money. Because by following his advice, they're just perpetually flushing all of their cash down the toilet.
It's hard not to wonder how differently this story would have ended if Charlie hadn't put the fake crypto guru under a spotlight in front of millions of viewers. The crypto fallout didn't mark the end of fake gurus, because up next we've got someone who didn't need lawsuits or scams to be exposed. He did it to himself. Up next, one of the biggest posers online, Jason Wojo. Put simply, Jason is a budget Andrew Tate who tries way too hard to flex wealth he clearly doesn't have.
Take you, for example, and me, and we both pull up and we go to your girl. Odds are I'm gonna take that bitch. If you compared me to you, you're not gonna win that battle.
He built a small audience by flooding YouTube and TikTok with thousands of short videos filled with pseudo-intellectual nonsense.
Do you know what the Milky Way is? It's in the galaxy, right? And did you know that there are more connections in the human brain than there are galaxies in the Milky Way?
Claims like voting makes you poor, money isn't real, and goldfish are smarter than humans became his entire brand.
Here's why the gym does not matter. I'm tired of guys that are like, oh, I'm going to the gym, I'm trying to get fit. I feel like I have a pretty decent tone. Like, I know I'm gonna get a bunch of shit in the comment section.
As time went on, Jason shifted from fake marketing guru to an even worse life coach, giving advice that somehow made even less sense.
Why you gotta break up with your girlfriend if you're not making 6 figures a year? Brutal honest truth is that girls need a man who can protect and provide for them. If you're not making at least 10K a month, how the fuck are you gonna protect and provide for your girl?
He argued that going to the gym is a waste of money, and that physical health has nothing to do with success.
Okay, I don't need to go to the gym, okay? Because you pull up to the gym, making less than 10K a month, pulling up in your bullshit fucking Corolla, and I pull up in my McLaren. It's not even a contest, dude.
This left even his own viewers confused, unsure if he was trolling or genuinely serious. Bro is renting a McLaren looking like a piece of spaghetti. This guy's biggest enemy is a gust of wind. Jason eventually caught the attention of Charlie, who uploaded a video on Jason in March 2023 and immediately set the tone.
I'm sure you've all heard the expression, fake it till you make it, but today I want to take a look at what happens when all you do is fake it without ever making it. You end up like this loser we're about to take a look at today.
Charlie zeroed in on Jason's fake confidence, which seemed to exist solely because of a rented sports car.
Because he's always talking about his wealth and his success, yet the only thing you can ever see from that is that McLaren. Now this may be like a tinfoil hat conspiracy, but I truly just think he either rinsed it for these videos, or even more depressingly, drained all of his finances to make that big purchase with that belief that this car would be enough to convince people that he has a lot of money.
He pointed out that the only expensive thing Jason ever shows online is the McLaren, which immediately raised suspicion.
You have absolutely no meat on your bones whatsoever. The only foe you're equipped to handle is if the gingerbread men from Shrek tried to attack your girl, then maybe you could fend them off.
Charlie then moved on to Jason's most brain-dead take yet, and completely dismantled it.
No one gives a fuck about your muscles. Most of the guys that go to the gym, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you're fucking stupid. All that pre-workout that you're taking is making you more stupider.
He called it insecure, pathetic, and laughed at the idea of attacking people for trying to improve themselves. This video blew up, reaching over 7 million views. Jason clearly wasn't happy about it, and left a salty comment promising a reaction video. Just 2 hours later, Jason uploaded a response that was more than twice as long as Charlie's original video. But instead of addressing the criticism, the best argument Jason could come up with was correcting how Charlie pronounced McLaren.
He's made like 1,000 shorts about how much money he spends filling up a McLaren's tank.
Okay, so this part pisses me off because he says the name wrong like 8 times in a row. It's not McLaren, it's McLaren. That's how we know this guy doesn't really have a lot of status. He doesn't understand these things. You probably say Rolex wrong.
Charlie didn't want to drag the drama out, but felt Jason needed another reality check.
It was by this guy Penguinz, whatever his name is.
Brother, you have the video up on the screen. What do you mean Penguinz, whatever his name is? You could have just opened your eyes. Are you too wealthy to just read? Can you read? It's Penguinz0.
He dismantled Jason's rant about the McLaren pronunciation, straight up laughing with sarcastic comments.
It's not McLaren, it's McLaren. Okay, so that's how we know this guy doesn't really have a lot of status. He doesn't understand these things.
Well, you can't argue with him there. That is a bulletproof case he's presented.
Jason then escalated things further by challenging Charlie to a boxing match.
We should do a boxing match with him because he does not. I'll box this guy. I'll do something with him because I guarantee you he can't outrun me in a mile. Okay, I can still, to this very day, with the amount of times that I don't work out, I can still run a 6-minute mile.
Charlie responded by explaining how meaningless that would be even if Jason somehow won.
But anyway, the boxing offer. This is what I'm saying. I find that to just be completely worthless. Like, that has nothing to do with anything I was saying at all. If I was making the claim that I could beat his ass, then that boxing challenge holds a lot of water. Then that holds a lot of weight. I was just making fun of him. I've just always said, like, if you challenge someone to a fight because they hurt your feelings, that's an embarrassing look for you.
After getting dunked on a second time, Jason tried to keep the drama alive with an even longer response. But it was obvious Charlie had gotten under his skin.
Trimmed it because he knew what he was about to say was stupid. That's the only time where he trimmed the video, where he cut it. Because he knows that he was about to say that it's not important to make 10K a month when I know damn well with 12 million subscribers, he makes more than $10,000.
By this point, Charlie's videos had completely exposed Jason, leading even more creators to pile on and roast his nonsense.
After picking a fight with Penguinz0, this terrible finance TikToker ruined his online career so much that he'd shamefully delete his TikTok and announce that he'd retired from making viral videos.
Jason tried to farm views from the drama, but quickly realized the backlash wasn't worth it.
So, funny enough, this morning, had a call with my entire leadership team, and I actually just let them know that I'm done at CEO. I'm stepping down January 1st, and I'm going to travel. I'm going to, figure out who I am.
Today, Jason has gone right back to posting the same bad advice on TikTok and YouTube.
If you're getting tons of views and struggling to convert them into followers and ultimately buyers, this is how to actually attract an audience of buyers instead of browsers.
Only now, barely anyone is watching.